Welcome to the C-Suite Mentor, the place where you will learn the tools, strategies, and mindset to scale your business sustainably and build a lasting legacy. I'm your host, Theresa Cantley. As a fellow CEO, I understand what it takes to scale a business to 7 and multiple 8 figures. It's not necessarily what you might think. It requires a complete shift in how you think, strategize, and execute key actions in your business. My mission is to help CEOs step back into the driver's seat of their business by optimizing their operations, empowering their team, and staying in total alignment with their big vision. So, are you ready to exchange everything that hasn't worked for strategies that will? You're in the right place, so let's go. Today, we are going all in on talking about local business, talking about Main Street businesses. I know I talk about it a lot because I am all about saving Main Street. Saving Main Street, saving small businesses, making sure that they're able to thrive no matter what happens. Because I have that core belief that Main Street businesses are what can, number one, they are the backbone of the economy. They can impact and shift society in a good way. They can really make sure that a community and an area stays healthy, and they can bring about innovation faster. Okay? Because we don't have all those hoops we have to jump through. We don't have all those things we have to, all those regulations and things and people that you have to ask permission from. Main Street businesses, small businesses, they are what can really make a big difference in this world. So I am all about making sure that Main Street businesses survive. And a lot of the articles that I've read lately, I feel very Italian today talking with my hands. All of the articles that I've read a lot lately about Main Street businesses, because, at the time of this recording, it's an election year. During an election year, people's spending habits change. Everybody's anticipating what's going to happen with the election, especially this one that we're going through right now. So, who gets hard hit? A lot of Main Street businesses. And I was on Reddit the other day, and I'll be fully transparent. I don't go on Reddit a lot, but I was on there, and some of the comments that I saw about people putting out their opinion about what's going to happen with Main Street businesses, what types of Main Street businesses are going to survive, and just about Main Street business owners. Literally, it was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And I had a conversation this week with someone who, because a lot of businesses around them have closed or are closing because they've struggled with cash flow, because they've struggled with increased costs, because they've struggled with supply chain issues or even hiring issues. This person who is a business owner, has had the business for many, many, many years, said, you know what? I think I should probably just close. I think I should probably just close because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to survive. With everything that's happening and everything that they're predicting and just trying to compete against all these bigger businesses in the online space, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to survive. So I should probably just close my doors. What do you think? Well, and of course, and if you're watching this on video, I am very expressive. What do I think? What do I think? I think it's crazy because here's the thing. You would not have been given the dream if it wasn't meant for you. You would not have, that dream would not be in your heart if it wasn't meant for you to pursue. So should you close your doors? If that is absolutely what you want to do, and it's in your heart to do that, by all means, follow what's in your heart. But if you are solely basing whether or not your business is going to survive by what you're hearing on the news or the negativity that people are saying about, oh, you can't compete against this, or, oh, you can't do this, then no, go back to that dream is in your heart, or that dream that is in your heart, that was put in your heart. And remember, because again, it is my passion to make sure that Main Street businesses not just survive, but thrive, because that is what's going to change the world. Keeping those businesses open, making sure that there is a healthy culture within the business is what can positively impact society. Because when the culture inside the business is healthy, we can make sure that what's happening outside the business is healthy. So I know that a lot of Main Street businesses, and like I said, I've been reading these articles, and when I went on Reddit, I was like, some stuff I chuckled at, some stuff was just mind blowing what people were saying. And it's just funny because local business owners, from what I started to read, which is interesting to me, and it makes me want to impact Main Street businesses even more. But I was reading these comments where people were saying, save local business, save local business. Just because you're a local business doesn't mean that the business owner is necessarily a nice person or doesn't mean that they're a good person. And I kept reading all these comments and I was like, oh my God. So if you're listening to this and you're not a local business owner, please continue to shop local. Many local business owners are good people. I'm sure there are, just as in there's a lot of CEOs out there that run big corporations that are jerks too. But if you are a local business owner and you're listening to this and you're like, I am having so many frustrations about the economy, about the supply chain, about cash flow. I'm struggling to keep my team together. I'm struggling to get them to work together and be in sync. And I'm struggling with just my marketing strategy, what to do. I feel like I can compete. And that might be coming across to your employees maybe in a not so positive way because that frustration just kind of gets out there. You want to listen to this episode. You want to keep listening to this because I'm going to give you some 3 key ideas to think about so that you can start shifting and not focusing on, because that's what we want to do. That's what fear does to us. Is we want to focus on all the chaos and all the frustrations and all the negativity in the world. That's what fear does to us. As I just heard I'm in a writing program, they talk about the inner critic. It's that fear. It wants to keep us stuck. And how do we stay stuck? We focus on all of the chaos and we say, we're in a chaotic world. I don't know what to do. I can't exist in this world. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. And we just need to flip it and start, instead of focusing on the struggle, we need to flip it and we need to focus on the opportunity. Because a lot of people talk about mindset as a business owner, mindset as a CEO, and I was listening to something the other day in Growth Day from Brendan Burchard, and he was talking about mindset is the belief and perceptions, our belief and perceptions, and how we value. So, our belief in ourself, our belief in our struggle, our belief in success, and how we value each one of these areas. So, when people talk about mindset, and I'm going to talk a little bit about mindset, it's how we view or what we believe about ourselves as a business owner, what we believe about the struggle that we're facing, and what we believe about what we are or not capable of, what our business is or isn't capable of, what our team is or isn't capable of. So, again, so many people want to focus on that chaos. They want to focus in chaos in their business, and that doesn't lead to anything good. So, what we want to do is rein in the chaos, as I talked about on a previous episode, rein in the chaos, but so that we can get space to innovate. Rein in that chaos, not focus on it, but look at it and say, where are the opportunities? Because again, I know that there is a lot of anxiety about our economy and about how are we going to be able to manage our cash flow, to manage our budget so that we can make payroll, so that we can buy things. And at the end of the day, we can pay ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about this today. So I'm going to give you 3 key things to think about. But in order to do this, number 1, we need to shift the belief about what's happening around us. Because here's the thing, ultimately, we don't have control over it. We don't. We don't have control over it. But what we do have control over is what we believe about it, All right. Remember, what is our mindset? What is our belief and our perception? How do we perceive what's happening around us? So, if we perceive it as it's chaotic, if we perceive our business as struggling, we are going to get more of that. So, the first thing that we need to do is we need to shift it from focusing on struggle to focusing on opportunity. And there's a lot of opportunities for Main Street businesses right now. A lot, a lot. If you can rein in that chaos so that you can give yourself time to innovate. Second thing is number two, shift how you show up. So, if we can shift our belief about what's happening around us and what we are capable of. Remember, we can shift our belief about ourself and say, I have control over what is going to happen within my business. So if we believe that and we say, you know what? Yeah, what's happening on the outside, what's happening with, Joe's Pizzeria down the street, I feel really bad for them and I feel bad, but it doesn't mean that my business is going to experience the same thing. So it's making sure that or reconnecting to the agency that you have, the control that you have over what you can control about yourself and about what's happening around you. And then number two, shift how you show up. So when you walk into the building, shift how you show up as a leader. Shift how you show up in those frustrating situations, in those situations where you have to make some quick decisions. The difference between successful people and non successful people are their ability to make a decision and go, to take action, to shift how you're showing up and saying, we can build a better future here. And here's how we're going to do it. So we shift our actions. Okay. We shift how we are showing up in our business as a leader. We're not coming in, and I witnessed this week, a leader coming into a building, complete scowl, frowning, body language, just you could tell they were angry, they were upset about what was happening. They didn't open their mouth. All they did was just walk into the room. When we continue to do that, again, the comments that were on Reddit, local business owners doesn't mean just because they're a local business owner, we just need to support them when they treat their employees like junk. Like, mind blowing that that there were all these comments. But maybe those local business owners are being perceived that way because they're frustrated, because they're stressed, because they're anxious. So if that's you, let's focus on shifting how we show up, shifting our belief about what is possible for us, shifting our belief about the agency that we have over what we can control in our business, the agency that we have about our life and about our leadership ability. Number three is know what your payoffs are. Know what your payoffs are if you stay still and keep doing what you're doing, what you've been doing, or versus let's do something different. Let's take action. Instead of constantly saying, because I've experienced this too, where I've had business owners that consistently tell me, I don't know how I'm going to make payroll. I don't know. I'm struggling to manage my cash flow. I'm a small business owner. Everything that happens around me, oh my gosh, I have no control over that. So therefore, I have no control over anything. And the truth is, yes, you do. Know what your payoffs are. Know what the payoff is. Is there a payoff? If you stay stuck in the same place, if you stay functioning in chaos and you don't look for the obstacles, what is or isn't the payoff there? What is or isn't the payoff if you take action? It might not work. Whatever you're going to do differently, it might not work. And if it doesn't, it's okay. You took action, and it's a chance to learn something so that you can take another action. And you can learn something and take another action. And you might achieve, or you absolutely will achieve, some kind of success along the way. So weighing your payoffs, knowing what the payoff is to stay stagnant and still and doing the same things you've always done and thinking, I'm a Main Street business owner, I can't make an impact. I'm just a small business. We're just a small business. We don't need processes in place. I don't need to create an organizational chart. You're wrong. Know your payoffs. The more clarity you can give people, the more you show up as a leader, the more people will be inspired to then take action too. So, number one, shift your belief about the world. So, we're shifting our belief. We're shifting our belief about the control that we have, the agency that we have about our life, and about what we can control. Shift how you show up as a leader and know what your payoffs are. So, three key things I want you to think about that you can start doing different in your business as a Main Street business owner. Because these articles I were reading, they were saying, this type of business is going to go away. This type of business is going to go away. They're going to get eaten up by big online retailers. This type of business is going to be good. And here's the thing. Here is the thing. When we can connect back to why you started the business, when we can, again, rein in that chaos so that you can start innovating, that's how you're going to start getting yourself to stand out from the crowd, carve your own path. And it's not about competing against the big box stores. It's about, and this is where your superpower is as a small business, it is about your ability to see the strategy before your opponent sees it, to be able to duck and weave, to zig when everyone else is zagging, to pivot, make that pivot that you need to make. And because you're small, you can make it faster. And guess what? You're going to stand out from everyone else. You're going to create a better experience that is going to bring more customers through your door. You will have the ability to get yourself out there to lots of doing different marketing things that don't really cost anything because you can innovate faster. I heard something a couple weeks ago that corporate America calls, when you are looking into stuff, they call it R&D, research and development. That's pretty much what failures in entrepreneurship are, or mistakes in entrepreneurship are. It's R&D. And as a small business owner, as a Main Street business, we can do that R&D. We can do, like I said, you're going to put actions into place. You're going to do things differently. You're going to have ideas that aren't going to work. And the actions that you take aren't going to work. And yeah, you're going to have failure. Guess what? It's R&D. It's just research. And we can do that a lot faster than those big corporate guys because guess what? Because we're entrepreneurs. Because we can think out, we not even think outside the box. We just burn the whole dang box down and just think, just ideate, create, and get it out there. So number one, go phygital. Embrace the spirit of phygitality. What is that? It is the beauty of a live experience, having that live connection with someone and bringing in innovative technology to enhance that live connection. I want you to think about it from the customer perspective of enhancing your experience for the customer being more phygital, as well as your employees. How can you give your employees more knowledge? How can you empower them more and deepen their skill set by implementing phygital things, bringing together technology and live experience for training, whether it's videos or using QR codes or creating different types of training programs? How can you develop your people to increase their knowledge by using phygitality? Love that word, phygitality. How can you do that? Same thing with your customers. How can you enhance that experience that you're creating for your customers using innovative technology and incorporating that into the live experience? Number two, get focused, not overwhelmed. When we can most people say to me, Theresa, I'm so overwhelmed. Overwhelm is everything you've ever asked for, and sometimes it just comes all at once, right? It's the sum of everything you've ever asked for. People tell me they're overwhelmed. Theresa, I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed. And I say, let me see your calendar. And they show it to me and it's blank. Or they're not keeping a calendar. Or I have one client who brings me scrap paper, constantly bringing me scrap paper or receipt paper with notes on it. How can you stay focused when you're functioning in chaos? So, number one, make sure that you have theme days. What days are you actually planning stuff out, doing the research? What days are you meeting with your team? Then what days are you taking that project planning and that research and those meetings that you have? And then what days are execution days, taking action days, days where you can actually take that planning and put it into play? And then what days are you spending reflecting, making sure that you're staying connected to that vision? You're reflecting on all of the action that you took and the things that you and your team did, and reflecting back and saying, what worked, what didn't work, what can we do better? How do we need to pivot? How do we need to shift so that we can do things better, so that we can create a better experience for our customers, so that we can spend more time with our customers to give a better experience? One of the key things that will be super, super important moving forward into 2025, just flip back on my note, is to create that unique experience. And how can you do it? Staying focused, making sure that you're giving yourself ample time to plan things out, to brainstorm, to have that meeting with your team, and then having time to go ahead and execute those tasks. Creating those unique experiences with phygitality, the spirit of phygitality, which is all about deepening human connection. That is my definition. That is not the definition that's out there. That is my definition. It is all about deepening connection. So how can you create that unique experience? And also making sure, because you have these theme days, that you are creating boundaries. I did a whole podcast episode, I think it was 258 or 259. We will link it in the show notes, all about your time and creating boundaries with your time and why you need to do it. If you didn't listen to it, make sure you go back and listen, because it will help you out tremendously, because time is one of our biggest assets, and it's the thing that people disrespect the most, their own time and others people's time. So get focused, not overwhelmed. Most of the time when people come to me and they say, Theresa, I'm overwhelmed, they're just disorganized. They're disorganized and they're not focused. They're focusing on random action and expecting specific results. You can't do it. Random action gives you random results, right? So make sure that you get focused and organized. Plan your days out. I can't stress that enough. I had a meeting with a client yesterday, and he said to me, we've done a lot of work. He's a new leader. We've done in a Main Street business. We've done a lot of work. And he said when he does not plan his week, when he doesn't have those theme days, or he doesn't plan out his meetings, he feels like junk during the week because he's taking random action and he forgets things. His follow-up suffers. We don't want to do that. Not now. Because guess what? Remember, you are capable of everything, and you would not have been given this dream if it wasn't meant for you. So we need to do that dream justice. We need to move that dream forward by getting focused. And the third thing is know your people. Know your people. Understand what their strengths are. Look at what you need in your business. What are the roles that you need in different areas of your business? I did this with a business that I run. It's a restaurant. And we looked at everybody and we said, we don't just have back of the house, which is the kitchen, and we don't just have the front of the house, which is the dining area and the bar. We have interconnected teams. What roles do we need in each one of these areas? And what are the competencies that each person on our team, like, what are the strengths that they have, I should say, that each person has? And what are the strengths or the competencies that we need in each one of these roles? And how can we align the two together so that every person is functioning in their strengths? And because they're functioning in their strengths, that area of the business that needs some love, that needs some attention, that needs some moving forward, and so that it can grow, the two of those align. And when you do that, you have alignment, you have sync, you have flow. And that's what we want in our business. We want flow. So, making sure that you are aligning the strengths of your team with what the business needs. Know your people, understand what role they fit into. And I shouldn't even say that. Not that they fit into it, but what role really is their calling, or what role in the business. Roles and job descriptions are two different things. I've done multiple podcast episodes on the difference between the two. A role really takes into account, again, what does the business need? And it's not just hard skills, it's those people skills. The competencies are people skills. Someone who is goal focused versus task focused. Someone who really loves to interact with people versus somebody who's way more detail oriented and can really function in working solo. So understanding what each one of those roles needs, and that role also aligns with what is that role doing for the customer experience. Important. That's how we align the two together so that, again, everything functions in flow. So number one, go phygital. Number two, get focused, not overwhelmed. And number three, know your people. So we do all of this, and guess what? We bust through those myths that Main Street businesses are going to disappear and that they're going to get gobbled up. Sure, there are a lot of towns out there. I've seen them. I live in Pennsylvania. We have a lot of small towns, and I've seen it where businesses have closed. But I've also seen where people have shifted their belief about what's possible, shifted their belief about themselves as a business owner, and shifted their belief about the success that they can create. I've seen areas where those business owners are thriving. Those communities are thriving. And that has built the local economy. You build the local economy, guess what? You build the state economy, then you, or the area or the county economy, then you build the state economy, then you build the global economy. And even those people who are supporting the local communities and the local economy, guess what? They're contributing to the global economy by buying online or whatever. So if you're a local business owner, shift your belief about what's possible. You have the ability and the magic to shift what is happening in this world. You may not think so, but you do. Because when we can take care of our employees, first of all, when we can take care of ourselves, we can take care of our employees. When we take care of our employees, that will shift forward when they leave work and go home and they're interacting with friends, they're interacting with family, and we can pay it forward. So I hope that this helped you. I would love to hear what was the most important thing that you listened to, what was the most impactful. And just remember, because I think so many people, just in general, whether you own a business or you don't own a business, so many people in this world are just so frustrated and so just feeling down and so just feeling like it's not possible for me. And I just wanted to do this episode to tell you it is. We just need to look at things in a different way, through a different lens. Not the lens we've been looking through things at, but through a different lens, through a much more abundant lens, a lens that will humanize our businesses by strengthening the connection that we have, the human connection. So I hope this helped you, and I hope to see you back here next week. So let's all take care of each other just a little bit more than we already do. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. If you found value on this show, please follow the podcast so you never, ever miss an episode. And I would love, love, love if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for me. Even better, share the show with a fellow business owner ready to step fully into their CEO leadership role. Because right now, more than ever, the world really needs next level leaders. And by the way, did you know you can text me all your questions and get real-time feedback? You absolutely can. Just text the word CEO to me at 610-215-2838 to get connected. One last goodie for you before I go. If you're ready to scale your business and have a co-creator working right by your side, my C-Suite Mentor Program may be perfect for you and your possible new second in command. Just visit thecsuitementor.com to get started.